The new upgrade system in Grounded is pretty much here in PTB, so what does it mean for you? Well, a few little things you need to know and where to go and get motherloads of this brand new resources. So obvious things first, spend all of your quartzite now, before this update hits. Obviously the PTB hasn't gone live on Xbox at the moment because of some issues, and it looks like it's going to be going live on Monday now. But if you want to make sure you're not going to lose all your quartzite like some other players have reported, then go ahead and spend it. As long as you spend it before either enabling the PTB, going into the Xbox Insider program of Grounded, or the actual official update, which I'm sure will go live in a couple of weeks, then you should be okay. You just got to now spend any quartzite you've been hoarding and upgrade as many of your weapons as possible. Likewise, the same thing goes for berry leather and any of the other grub leather too. Go ahead and upgrade any of the armor suits that you've currently got before this update hits, or it'll all just disappear or go to waste. So yeah, it's now replaced by something called either tough nuggets or fashion nuggets, and there's different variants of it, levels 1 to 3. Obviously, I've gone through some of this stuff in another video, and it definitely deserves a bit more of a tailored video about actually upgrading. But again, this is just the basics. What I do want to say is that everywhere that you've pretty much found quartzite, you'll more or less find some of these nuggets and rocks too. Not in big, huge amounts maybe, but it's a good bet that's where you'll find a lot of it. So it's going to be fun and interesting going back to some places to see if we can find more of this stuff again. You'll find a bunch of it in the black anthill as well as the red anthill, as well as some of the spider caves that you might have come to recognise, like where obviously the hamster is buried. Now, as I said, they are different tiers, some of these, so you might not be able to break the rad ones unless you've got a tier 3 axe, and you can't really upgrade with the tier 3 stuff until 1.0. That's what the devs have currently said. So you might be able to pick it up, but you won't necessarily be able to go ahead and use it. You'll also notice that you get different types of nodes from some of these as well. Although it's a red rock of fashion, you do get some of the lower tiered rocks inside it too. I was a bit skeptical at seeing these rocks. I felt like they were just a little bit weak sauce compared to maybe what we could have had, like glass beads or something where you make your bracelets and necklaces. That used to be popular in the 90s. But I guess the idea is it's like a geology sort of thing, where you get these kits and you can dig out the cement, or well, not cement, but like clay, and inside you'll find these little geodes or crystals, and I'm guessing that's the idea with this stuff. Clearly Wendell's kids, one of them maybe, was into collecting rocks and maybe breaking open geodes and stuff, so it kind of fits in a little bit more, and I'm getting used to the idea of no more quartz but having this instead. So that location I just showed you is obviously on top of the bike, but how do you get there? Well, I think there's going to be a glider coming into the game. It just doesn't make any other sense. You can't really get on top of it. I've tried my best today to climb, try and cheese, anything to get up here and see if there's a quick way to do it without building. You can indeed climb up the spokes to get on top of the tyre, and from there you can pretty much get to a point just underneath the seat. But without some additional sort of glider or way to get up higher, you're not going to be able to get on top of the next run there, where we've got like the handlebars and stuff. And even if you do make it up there, you can't actually get on top of the basket part. There's just simply no way to get up here. So I do think that we will get some sort of glider. It was in the game files way back when that there was some sort of thing called a leaf blower, and it kind of makes sense there would be another way to get around the backyard. So now, here is the best way at the moment, unless anything changes, of how to get it. You are going to need at least, I would say, 28 weed stems and 28 acorn tops to build some ladders. You're going to need to go up to the termite area and build your way up until the little wooden ledge on the wooden fence. For sure, you could try doing this directly underneath the basket and line it up nicely, but that is going to cost even more weed stems, probably maybe 60 or 70. I found this was the most efficient, and I do believe it's probably the easiest way to do it. You're also going to need around, I would say, 34 to maybe 38 clay. Once you've built close enough to the edge, you can then just go ahead and hop over, and that's it. Run along all the way to the side. So it turns out, obviously I'm thinking about if you've got obviously integrity on with building, you could probably do this much easier without the integrity being on. But if you have got it on, and some players do, then this is the only way that you'll be able to get up here, in my opinion. So you can build around this post. For some reason this post does act as if it's a purchase point, which means that you can place more of these. You could do other things as well, like clover roofs, but being able to carry this in your inventory is surely going to be a lot easier than carrying even more stems to build clover roofs. And clay is not exactly the hardest thing to get hold of. So that is around, again, 30, I would say 6 or 40 pieces of clay. Like I said, you don't have to build all the way around. You could just use, as long as you've got a tuft with you, to get onto the other side. And from there, it's super easy to get inside the basket. Just simply jump over and you've got a mother load of some of the rocks to go ahead and start upgrading. I don't think this is the way the devs initialize you getting these. I don't think this will be the final form. I do think we're going to have something else. I've always wanted like cricket springs to be able to jump higher, and that would help a lot with some of this. Of course, you do need to have unlocked the ladder, so that means you are going to have spent some of your science points on that recipe, as the ladder isn't automatically unlocked with anything. Obviously you get it by completing the hedge chip, so yeah, it's a fairly early one to get. Otherwise you could potentially try doing it with other ways. You could build like a massive bridge up to that wooden part, or simply just build huge bridges to get up here, but that would take forever, especially again if you've got integrity on. You can either literally spelunk up using a clay nerd pole if you want, like Minecraft, or you could go ahead and put ramps up of clover pieces to get up to the top part, or directly to the basket itself. But again, that's still a lot of stems, so I do think that is the best way. At least 28 stems, 28 acorn tops, and yes, you're going to need around 36 to 40 clay pieces, and you'll be able to get all of that good upgraded materials, the new stuff, straight away. There's lots of these floating around still. You'll find one on top of the actual tarpaulin just behind the logs next to the can. There's some in the termite hill as well. I'm still working on a full guide to every location of them. And obviously with the PTB, there's normally some changes, or they might add some more. So I'm going to hold off putting it out completely until the actual full update is here. But this is at least a tip on how to get a big lot of it from a location that I didn't think we'd ever really go and visit. Let me know what you think about the new upgrade system, and if we get any news about the PTB coming to the Xbox Insider program, I'll let you guys know, but it should be Monday, and I'll be back with more guides covering all the stuff you need to know about upgrading with the new system and more. Until next time, ratbags, laters.